Hello and welcome to our next episode of Tribes. Today we're joined by co-founder Oli and Daniella, who are going to share their thoughts and experience about the project. Hi, Oli. I'd like to kick off with asking you, how did you end up working in the Web3 space and especially in the collectibles?
Hi, Alexandra. So how did we end up working in the Web3 space? I think it started off with someone that I'm good friends with just tweeting about NFTs back in February 2021. Obviously, I was quite keen to then see what I could do in the space. I'm not an artist myself, but I am quite a creative person. And then I sort of, as soon as I had space, I had an idea and I wanted to run with it. And I think I spent quite a lot of time applying for business school. And then literally the day that I submitted my application, I went, right, great. I've been working on this idea for a while now in my head. Now I want to go and make it something.
So the business project idea culminated in an NFT collection project. And just thinking about Grail, is there maybe a short sentence you use to describe what the project is about for those that don't know about it?
Yes. So the way in which we describe it, it's a medieval community-based choose your own adventure. That's the way I describe it typically. So it's a medieval community-based choose your own adventure where you're voting each week, or each chapter that's released, you're voting on one major decision that the main character is going to take that will drive the story forward. But you're voting as a group. So it's not a game, it's community-driven storytelling. And
those that can vote are token holders of the collection.
Yes, exactly. Yes, token holders of the collection can vote. Mm-hmm.
And so speaking of which, how did Grail come about? How did you build up the team?
My partner and myself, we studied English at Oxford together, and we obviously had discussed stories and we'd read a lot of the same text for quite a long time. So we'd had this sort of idea for a story, which eventually became Grail Brewing for years. And this idea I suddenly had one day for this choose your own adventure style storytelling. We just combined that with the story that we'd had brewing for quite a while. We reached out to a few artists. We tried to keep it very much focused on artists who we were already collectors of. So I was a collector of Daniella before I was working with her. We very much started with the creative heart of the team. We then went out and found our technical team. We were lucky enough to find Heck, our developer. And yeah, the rest is, I guess, history, really.
I'm going to ask Daniella also a question. What was your inspiration for the artistic direction behind the Grail project?
I mostly based Grail's artistic direction on books, book illustration especially. There's a book illustrator I like called Chris Riddell, and he does a lot of line artwork just in black and white. So black and white was the color scheme mainly, and since the main character's name is Red, I thought that black, white and red would be a very good start. I also based the character tokens on tarot cards a lot, in terms of the border, the title and the numbering. And the characters themselves, I used a lot of the kind of comic book style, line art style to do. So overall, comic books, book illustration and tarot cards were the main inspiration.
Amazing. And sort of like this theory, like the series Tribes, we focus a lot on founders like yourself who are also working in collaboration with other artists. Mm-hmm. And sort of like based on your experience and learning, it's been quite some time that you were working on the project. How do you see co-creation and collaboration evolve? What does it mean for you?
The thing I really enjoy most about the project is when we are bringing on board a new guest artists for a chapter, and I have no idea what they're going to do with the chapter. I think that, so for me, like I say, it's co-creation is excitement. It's hugely fun. I think it also means, from a sort of more project management perspective, collaboration also means, and to be completely blunt, I think more eyeballs, which means more sales, hopefully. If you're a small project and you didn't have a huge amount of funds for marketing, and even if you're a big project, it's still sensible to do this, you could really get some eyeballs on your work by collaborating, not always artistically necessarily. Sometimes, you know, it's just a partnering on a giveaway or something, but that was a really bread and butter basic building block of a community and an audience for your project. And I think if you weren't, and if you're not using that as a tool and a sort of, you know, a mechanism through which to find new collectors, I think you're really missing a trick. I would honestly say that like 4/5 of our project sales probably came from those collaborations. So yeah, sort of, I've got these two opinions of two feelings about collaboration. Where on the one hand, it's incredibly fun, and I see it as a very artistic endeavor, but it also is a way of making money essentially.
And it's building ground up together, and then everyone feels like they're part of something bigger. Often we see people are token holders, but not always it's an equal exchange. And here it's almost like a continuous conversation between the project and different participants of the project that are helping define its future, especially for the voting and prompts, how people are able to contribute to the story and share their ideas. I imagine this is also not without challenges. What are some of the challenges you face working with others?
The collaboration that we have in place, it's a true collaboration. We're not paying people to do something. The reason they're doing it is because they're interested in our project. Sure, they might want to get access to our community, but you know, we're not the biggest community necessarily. You know, they will do it if they're interested, and they, right up until the moment we publish a work, they can turn around and said, sorry, I can't do that after all. So just trying to manage that, you know, understanding that it's a collaboration, not a contract, is actually been one of the challenges. I think another challenge, and you put it better than I did, how the audience and we are also collaborating because they're continuing to vote on the future of the story. And if the audience wanted to take the story in some really unexpected directions, they could. And that obviously presents challenges when we're trying to write a cohesive story that has some depth to it.
Continuously evolving organism of its own at some point. Is there anything exciting that you would like to share that's in the pipeline for Grail?
Absolutely. In chapter 6 of Grail, we released a secondary voting mechanism. So as well as people voting every time there's a chapter released on the major decisions that the main character is going to make at the end of that chapter, now if a type of token holder, if a larger number of those individuals are voting, then we say they're in ascendancy. And if a particular group is in ascendancy for 2 weeks, then they unlock their additional voting ability. The group that are called the Outcasts managed that, I think, 2 weeks ago. And we are literally today going to release their voting interface to the community. We have some more guest artists who we haven't announced yet, who they're going to make quite a splash, I think. So I'm really excited to release those names and also showcase the works that they will produce.